Sometimes I have to be like, "Yo, guys, the chocolate is good enough. It tastes pretty damn good. Like, people will buy it. Like, we've
Mhm,
got a good backstock.
mhm.
It's okay." And they're like, "No, we gotta keep making the chocolate, man."
Big K, welcome on back. What's up, brother?
Pleasure to be here.
I
How you doing?
mean, pleasure to have you as always, man. I gotta say, I'm excited, right? It's just ending off the second split with a dub. Feels good, Cap. A smile on your face. Talk me through the elation you feel right now, bro.
Is chilling. Kind of funny. It's our first match in the kind of backstage game. It was low key. Like, yeah, it was a good scrim day, guys. Anyone have anything they want to share? Otherwise, I'll see you guys tomorrow, 11 a.m. You know,
Yeah. I mean, yeah,
in
it
and
did
out.
kind of feel like a scrim, right? Because like you were just in a room, like especially playing a Sentinels game with no audience feels weird, right? It just
Yeah,
because like
yeah, that's a good point. Like, I think especially for us, right? It's the biggest difference between match day and between the big stage and the backstage for us compared to any because we obviously have the most fans because we're the best org
yeah, exactly.
and team
Yeah,
sometimes.
you guys are the goats. Yeah, the best team sometimes. I mean, best team. Period. Right? Simple as
Yeah,
that. I'm not a Glazer, but it's just best team. Just, you guys are the goats. Simple as that.
yeah,
T1 who, in fact. To be fair, they did lose to Talon last night, but so it is what
yeah,
it is. Which is crazy, by the way. EDG lost 2 to Shalai, bro. This is
yep.
all our goats are falling. Only Sen has continued to rise.
That's right.
This
Always.
is always too. So now, one thing I wanted to get into, which was interesting, was that in a match like this, which holds not a lot of consequences, right, but just enough to make it matter. I know Ospas was saying yesterday that like they couldn't even treat this as a scrim because they didn't care enough, right? I'm surprised by the guys still having the same mentality to like keep playing with the same intensity and firepower that they would any other game. Was that like something that you instilled into them, or is that just their own work ethic?
Um, I think it's both for sure. It's easy with this team, especially, right? Like they do not like to lose and they like to work very hard. So I don't have to worry. I find with this team, like I don't worry about complacency in any situation. But it's also something I've learned, right? Like it was really I remember being over the moon when we qualified to Madrid. But then being like and back then if you won kickoff, you got like 3 points, right? And if you got second in kickoff, you got nothing. And I was like, the 3 points, that's a lot. And it like back then it was people like, kind of what champs points? What? Like what are points? Like what and then I did a little bit of a told you so of like, hey, we made champs and got top 4 because of those 3 points. 100 Thieves, they lost their spot at champs because of 1 point. So we've been like it's easy to think about the importance of points. We've been there. We know how important they are. I would
Mhm.
never want to give up a point. And everyone else knew that too. I wouldn't. I don't even think I was the first to say it today. I think it was John. So
Exactly. Which shout out
yeah,
to
we
them.
definitely talked before going in the game. Like I think we kind of knew we needed to emphasize this is still a match because it's not going to feel like it when we walk out there.
I mean, because here's the thing, right? Now with this, you guys are pretty much locked top seed in your group, right? Which is huge. Uh,
Uh, Hopefully, yeah.
I think
Depends. If 100 Thieves beat Crew, we get top. If Crew beat 100 Thieves, we get second.
really, I was thinking like
Yeah,
round differential maybe, but I guess yeah. But
yeah.
whatever. Either way, it's weird. Swiss is a strange thing.
It's because Crew beat us, so we'd be
Oh right,
tied
yeah.
4-1.
Yeah, okay, because in the head to head. Okay, fair enough. Yeah,
Yeah,
dude, I swear Swiss is like looking at baseball numbers where sometimes where it's just
yeah. It's insane.
it shows the of it. Whatever. That's a side point. To move on to a bit of a lighter note, right? Uh, look, I was wondering more so about like because you talked a lot about how the culture you've implemented the team has been so different from last year because you can't just like push these guys anymore. So have you moved away from the Kaplan and the Chocolate Factory culture? Right? And you kind of just like letting them find their pace for actually playing the game.
Yeah, yeah. They yell at each other to make chocolate, man. I don't always have to. Sometimes I have to be like, "Yo, guys, the chocolate is good enough. It tastes pretty damn good. Like people will buy it. Like we've
Mhm,
got a good backstock.
mhm.
It's okay." And they're like, "No, we gotta keep making the chocolate, man."
More chocolate.
No, yeah, they're definitely like, yeah, definitely a little more. They know how to push each other and themselves enough already. Sometimes.
Okay. All right, this is okay. So I'm glad they're pushing themselves, right? Because like I remember you talked about like how like last year you guys were like on such a heavy grind settle. Like we just have to keep working, practice, and then we'll be fine, right? To the point where I remember you even talked about it with Sage, right? Where like it's just like what little mental sanity you have was already kind of fading away with how much you guys are working, right? So it's just
Yeah.
it becomes so insane. So have you been able to take a step back at least this season, breathe a bit, cap, sleep even?
I have had a couple of 2-day weekends, which as a team, we've had a couple 2-day weekends. As a coach, that's like a 1-day weekend because the second day you're checking in with everyone, you're planning out the week,
Hmm.
but therefore a 1-day weekend is a 0-day weekend for me.
Hmm.
It's been nice. Yeah, I think that we aren't perfect. Like I would like to be able to constantly do 6-day weeks and slam strategy and feel like, oh, the map pool's just perfect and stuff like
Hmm.
that. And that's not just time, right? Like I make missteps that cause our map pool to struggle too. But
Hmm.
um, I think like enough percentage of our losses feels like it's from our own stress and match atmosphere, it's like it's easier to justify giving them, um, well, 2-day weekends sometimes.
Yeah, it's see because I feel like I hear that answer a lot from a lot of teams, especially like most teams in general. Will they say that when they lose, they lost for themselves, except with
Yeah.
NRG when they actually just do lose. But it's just it's just like you lose to your just small little line, it's a small shot. I'm sorry for that, but yeah, it's not fair. But it's like you lose to yourselves, right? And I find like at the beginning I was a bit skeptic, but that does seem to be the case here, where you fixed up a lot. And I'm more so thinking about like in terms of mental with the team, right? Because there's two things that I learned recently. Shanzo talked about how he's learned to be a better communicator and like how to both elicit and give feedback better, right?
Mhm.
And Zellsis talked a lot about his kind of senses of isolation when it came
Yeah.
to being not part of the pack anymore, right? And I want you to give more context of that to me because like I find the players can only talk so much about it, but with you, the balance there. So talk to me about Zellsis first and like have him not being in the mid round anymore, and like having someone who's such an integral part of the team's comms and like like objectives to now him kind of being on Senti and chilling, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been something he's had to work on, and he's a very experienced player with a very wide skill set. So I think it's hard when you feel like a part of your skill set isn't being tapped into anymore, right? When he's not playing a breach or a KO, when he's not in the pack, he's not like giving a big plan. And I think also even for vibes, like he's said, hey, it's like easier to like pop off and cheer for your team when you were like right there and you like just threw that flash for that guy. Sometimes
Yeah.
as a senti, your team wins the round over there, and you're like, I don't know what happened, but yo, good job, guys.
Yeah.
Um, but on the flip side, like he's had an insane Viper and an insane Killjoy. And our best map last year, he was the Viper, and some of our best wins and some of his best games were Icebox on Killjoy. Like he has a very long history as a Sentinel player too, and he's a rock. His decision making on it is so good, and he's a
Mhm.
very good mid rounder. And you do need to be able to do that on Senti, right? I think
Yeah.
a lot of Valorant teams have like huge fragger Sentis who
Mhm.
aren't huge mid rounders, and so people don't like it's not such a consistent thing, but like when you have a Senti who, can get a kill and mid round off of it, like he knows how to tell the pack to set up his lurk and stuff.
Yeah.
So he's very good at what he does, but he's very good at a lot of things. And when you're not able to do some of the things you're good at. I think it's easy to feel uncomfortable.
Mhm.
And yeah, there's just a little more freedom, but it's also like a little more room to just focus on himself. And I think that's for him taking getting used to. But
Yeah.
more than qualified to do it.
I will say, yeah. To be fair, he's not doing too bad at it, right? He has adapted well and informed. Like now with the skill we've seen so far from the team, it does look better and better each and every single time. But I find it changes up how the comms. I mean, it doesn't change up a lot in terms of the vibes, but he's just such an excellent teammate, right? He also just knows how to be there for his team no matter what, which is
Yeah,
beautiful
and
to
he
see
still
as well.
does so much for the vibes. Like it's
Exactly.
just, if he's doing like a ton, but it's not 130%, he can feel like, well, I'm used to doing 130%, but he's definitely
Yeah.
still like really doing a lot.
Exactly, right? Which is incredible. I find now on some stuff that I want to know. Right? Look, it's okay. So this actually comes from directly from a chatter from Nip R3V. Want to know about your favorite Ghibli film?
My favorite Ghibli film,
Mhm.
Spirited Away.
Spirited Away.
It's just my first. I'm not. I mean, I'm sure it's not the first movie I saw, but
Mm.
like I remember being probably 7 years old,
Wow.
seeing it in the theater, and just like, oh my god, movies, the movie theater. This is insane. I'm in this. Like, what a
Movies,
memory.
dude, movies are wonderful. I agree. Mine is Nausicaa, and the Valley of the Wind, personally. It was my
Yeah.
first and it was the experience that I enjoyed the most because I saw it in an old timey theater where they had like, like
Nice.
rescreenings again. I saw it with I
Yeah.
saw with the girl who I took out on a kind of a date and I ignored her the entire time because I was
Yeah.
so locked in. It was such a cool movie. I love
I like
Nausicaa.
that.
We did not
Yeah.
have a second date yet. We did.
That's the danger of movies as a first date. You don't want to get to
Yeah.
definitely some conversation.
Yeah, we did have food beforehand, but it didn't.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Yeah, I try my best. Yeah, I try my best, Cap. Okay, right. And one thing I mentioned, I think there was a little skit that they played before this. We talked about like just the concept of time travel and like some movies that you personally liked, right? And
Mhm.
you said that like just like you said like if you could like just the concept of change the past and so on, right? Or to
Yeah.
kind of affect your future here. If you could change something based on the concept, would you? Or are you more of like a we are meant to be here based upon our decisions type shit?
Yeah, I'm down for that, like, meant to be there. Like, if I went back and changed something, I'm happy with where I'm at. I'm very happy. I'm not perfectly content, but,
Yeah.
I enjoy the situation I'm in, and I would never risk, losing this situation. What if I go change something at 18 and then the ripple effect, I'm not coaching, or I never met my wife,
Mhm.
that's the one that first comes to mind, like, just
Right.
you never know with those butterfly effects, and I'm definitely happy enough that I am not messing with it.
Which we love, right?
Yeah.
Because look, it's just we land here due to an amalgamation of our choices because we are not our thoughts. We are simply our actions, and our actions have led us here, Cap, right? My actions have
Absolutely.
led me to meeting you, right? Like
That's right.
years ago in Philly, right?
Yep. That was a good time.
That was a great time, bro. That was a wonderful time, right? I got you meet you there, but the first interaction, I was like, "Wow, he looks terrifying." And then I remember you made some noise, and I was like, "Hey, he's kind of a nice guy." Definitely have aura there, Cat, but I believe that is my time, brother. And I always love spending this time with you. Thank you so
Absolutely, me
much,
too.
man. I
Yep.
cannot wait to see y'all ass in Toronto. Let's fucking
Yeah,
go,
I'm
bro.
looking forward to it. We'll be
And,
right there. Just
damn
give
right.
us a little bit, and, yep, see
And
you soon.
remember, milkshakes, Cap. Milkshakes on you. Has to
That's
happen.
right. Yep.
That's
I
have a
got
good.
you.
All right. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much.
Alright.
All right.